Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Big Dan. I'm with Southern Extreme Podcast, and I was just bringing this video to you about young ladies playing softball. I got an older daughter, and she's a senior this year, and getting ready to go to college and everything on the on scholarship. But for the parents out there, and that's getting ready to transfer up to like 14U, or even parents getting ready to get started in it all together, I was just going to go over some things that might help you in the future to think about and ponder on, and you're welcome to please leave comments. Like the video and subscribe if you would. I'm gonna have more content coming out. We'll be interviewing players at different points. It might be very helpful for your daughter if she wants to listen and stuff like that in the future. But anyhow, so we're we're just gonna start off by, softball is a great sport for the girls to play. It's, it gives them time to be with their friends and develop more friendship and learn that hard work and dedication, pays off, and all those skills that you learn and everything like that. So main thing, it probably keeps them out of trouble a little bit. But anyhow, I just wanted to kind of go over some things that I've seen and give my opinion on it that may help y'all out. We'll start off with, like, when you start out young, or around your coach pitch, you'll follow your team up and y'all will develop up through your coach pitch years, 5, 6 years old. Then you'll get up into your 8Us. That's when your teams will really start traveling around. The difference between travel ball players and just players that play rec league, or maybe just try to play high school, is going to be daylight and dark. If you want a chance to play probably play in high school now, especially if you're in a bigger high school. Smaller high schools, it's not so much. It's not as bad, but because you typically have near the players in smaller high schools. But with bigger high schools, you're definitely gonna have to play travel ball just to play on the team, probably. But it is a big difference when you watch kids that's played travel ball versus kids that don't play travel ball. It's just a repetitious thing, and being more comfortable, more developed. So it is important to get, lessons or training, not just in hitting and then not just in fielding, but you need to, as far as developing your footwork and, working on your speed, running any type of agility type training is going to be very important. You don't have to necessarily get lessons, but just get the little ladders. That's what we've done a ton of things. Just run the ladders and everything. Watch some YouTubes on agility type stuff, some videos and things of that nature, and just do that. Anything will work and help and keep you developed as far as footwork and make you better and grow you. But that's going to be very important. And the next thing is don't get overly excited about these kids. Everybody wants their kid to be good, but you got to give the kid a chance. You can't, if she goes up there and strikes out or has a bad game or throws the ball over the fence, over the first baseman or over the third baseman's head or something, or whatever she shall be, don't yell and scream at them. You have to be positive with these girls, because negativity does not go with them good. That's what I've found. So don't jump all over them. You have to keep in mind, like in pro baseball. In pro baseball now, there's Hall of Famers that have gotten out 7 out of 10 times. So you got to remember, they go through slumps too, and they get paid to do this. So don't be too hard on your girl. Just keep developing. They'll develop over the years. You just got to stay patient. I know it's hard, but you just got to stay patient. And always be positive with them. Because especially when you get on teams, you get on teams that has a daddy coaching, which is awesome, because there's it's hard to pay people to coach that don't have no affiliation to any kid on the team. Now, if you can do that's going to be better, because they don't have a dog in the fight. So they'll usually call a straight, be fair to all the kids. With that said, the daddies try the best, but they have some flaws, but they're spending a lot of time also out there with them girls. So you just have to be patient and make the best decision possible going down the road. So some daddies, their daughters will play, and he'll put them at shortstop or center field or somewhere, and they might be the worst player on the team, but it is what it is. You just have to grind it out, get repetition, work on things. You don't want to be necessarily on the where you playing real terrible teams all the time. Say when you're from 8 to 12 years old, because if you playing like real terrible teams, your pitching's going to be terrible, and all that's going to happen is you get a lot of walks. The kids will just circle the bases. Your games are 20-14. It's terrible. You don't get much work. You want to play in leagues, kind of to get developed. I find you play mediocre type teams, travel ball, and that way your pitchers are decent, and the kids get to hit the ball, and your infield and outfield also get to work on the developing at that position that they're playing. And if they move you around, that's fine too. Don't worry about that too much. I do like them to leave a kid. I find it better with my daughter, if they would just sometimes leave her for 2 or 3 innings in one spot and then move her, like a half a game. If they did each kid like it, I don't agree with the moving inning to inning to inning, because it's hard to get a rhythm, get comfortable. And but that's just a coach's decision standpoint. But like I say, you just got to go back and be patient with the process, and you have to make the decision. If you're not happy, you'll just start looking for another team, and move on down the road, Now, the main thing with that is we're going to get into, but you got to be realistic. You have to be realistic to be fair with everybody, right? And that's what you hoping that the coaches are doing, is being realistic and being fair. And when I say be realistic, you got to be realistic about where your daughter falls as far as athletic ability versus everybody else on the team, and what you're striving for. So if your girl wants to go to Oklahoma or Florida or LSU or UCLA, some of these top programs in the country, she's going to have to work hard. And she's going to have some great athletic ability. And you have to, as a parent, you got to be able to see this, or at least take her to somebody that can give you lessons and be honest with you about where your daughter stands. You always want to have hard work, but but being realistic is going to save you a lot of money, because if your daughter is not real, if she's not all in and passionate about the game to start with, then I probably wouldn't go play for one of the top programs, get on some of these top travel teams in the country, because it's going to cost you $1,000 to $1,500 a weekend to travel and go play, if not a little bit more money. And there's times during the summertime they're going to play 3 weekends out of the month. So you're going to be looking between $3,000 and $5,000 a month just to play softball, and that's just for traveling. That's not the fee you're going to pay on that. You'll have a fee to play on the travel ball team, on good ones. So you really got to be realistic about everything, because it's like a business now. It's not so much like just for fun and all that. I mean, there's a lot of money coming in. So if you're gonna pump that money in, you're looking for something in return, and the return is for your daughter to have fun, gain some friendships along the way, and at the end of the day, get a scholarship to a college. Now these coaches for these colleges, they're extremely tough and rude half the time about the way they go about the recruiting. So you can't just build yourself up and lay all your eggs in one nest. You need to be diversified on as many colleges as you can, because the more colleges you have competing for you on each level, the more money you can demand. So, like if you're a D1 athlete and you got a bunch of D1 schools stacked up, then they have to be comparable now. So if you're getting offers from Oklahoma, Florida, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, UCLA, then you're pretty much going to be able to demand a good bit. So now you can't be getting an offer. You can't be getting an offer from, say, ULM and try to force their hand on a school like Alabama or Oklahoma or Florida, because that's two different. It's a different program. So bottom line is, be realistic, stay patient. The recruiting process is hard. The D1 schools will be able to talk to the young lady, to your daughter, September, as of right now, September 1st, their junior season. That's when they can pick up the phone, talk to them, text them, whatever. But don't be crushed and don't worry about it if you don't get a phone call on September 1st. These coaches, they got their teams. They have to be doing things with their team sometimes. And they're not going to do you like some people. They're not going to call you at midnight, so don't wait up. They're going, most of them will call you at a decent hour, in the morning time or whatever. Typically just pitchers and catchers, or if you got a phenom, they'll get a call on the first. And some of them you'll get calls and you'll be invited to camps or something like that for, more, so they can get to know you better, see if they really want to offer you something like that, because you might have intrigued them somewhere at some point. So you just got to be patient, roll with the punches on that deal. Don't get too upset, because if you are getting interesting calls and you will know, then just stay patient. It'll come to you, because you really want to pick a college more for your daughter's career than you do just picking a college because that's where you wanted to play, or try to go there and you put in 4 years and don't see the field. You just ride the pine. That ain't no fun. So And the other main thing I want to talk about as far as the girls is paying attention to your daughter as far as like mental health, also combined with the physical health. Like I tried to get my daughter to not play basketball. She's a great athlete, and she was good in middle school. And I told her, I said, babe, we had offers since the time she was in the 7th grade for full ride scholarships to, small colleges for softball. So I told her, I said, babe, we don't need to worry about basketball because I don't want to get you roughed up, because you got to understand, these girls play when you're from 8U to 12U, you're going to play from March 1st to Thanksgiving if you're on travel ball. So that only gives you, and you'll start practicing in February, weather permitting, that only gives you a couple months off to kind of recoup and kind of throttle down. And at the same time, you got to look at it and let her be a kid. Let her enjoy a little bit of time with her friends and do some things. And as a family too, you get together and travel and go see something, take a vacation, whatever. These are things that's going to be important to keep them stable, keep them, and also keep them invested into the game and keep their love for the game. So, if you're one of the girls that, the way I feel, if you're one that's going to do good and be looking to get a scholarship, which you can get pretty much, most girls can get scholarships at colleges, just depends, as long as you're willing to go to the college that fits where you're at on your level. Even if you start at a community college or a junior college, play for a couple years, get better developed, then you can transfer to a bigger college, and you're maximizing your money that way, because the smaller college you go to, the more money you'll get, the better you are. And then you develop for a couple more years, then you transfer in, then you're going to get a lot more money at the bigger college where you wouldn't have got that from Jump Street. So anyhow, that's the way I felt about the two-sport thing, because I know my daughter, she had gotten hurt in sophomore season playing basketball, and I went ahead and we shut that down, playing basketball, and that has helped tenfold. I mean, she has enjoyed herself immensely as a kid and had fun, and she's more relaxed. She got to work out more and get her body healthy and keep it healthy, and it's helped keeping her healthy during the season, as far as travel ball and softball. So I highly recommend that. Of course, you can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you my opinion on it. So the time off and keeping them, because when the kids get in high school, when you start high school, you got to understand that these girls are going to start practicing January 1 or 4th, right after Christmas break. They're going to start practicing, and they're going to go to, from January, they're going to start their season February 12th, 9th, 10th, right up in that range, just like college does. And they're going to play till the end of April or May, and then they'll start travel ball. But the high school girls will play basically from right after Christmas break all the way till Thanksgiving. So now you're talking about in high school, you're only getting 1 month off. So I highly, highly recommend, if you're getting a scholarship in softball, to protect your scholarship, just play one sport. It's better. It keeps you more healthy, and it keeps you in a better mental state. And especially with social media these days, keeps the kids more balanced. So just keep that on your mind. And then, just picking the right college and everything. Just make sure you take your time with it. Like I say, I highly recommend. I wouldn't chase too many big colleges too much unless they've sent word through your coach or something like that they would like for you to come to the camp, because most big colleges is just a big money deal. You go down there to LSU or something, you got 300 kids at a camp. There's no way you're getting much training at all, or anybody's getting looked at very much. It's just a money deal. So I wouldn't waste my money on that type of deal. What I do highly recommend is the one that I really like is the Gulf Coast Exposure Camp, and it's around August 9th to 14th, right in that area, because they'll have about 100 colleges there, and their colleges will be all the way from a community college all the way up to your Florida, Mississippi State, Ole Miss colleges, the top programs. Everybody in between will be there. And so your kid, start taking them there from the time they get in about the 6th or 7th grade, and let them roll if they're, and it's a good exposure, and it's a good deal to look at. And I know my daughter got a lot of hits off of that, and it certainly helped, building a lot of interest. So I would highly recommend that camp, because in travel ball, of course, if you don't know already, August 1st that's the age break off. So when your summer ends, your tournaments end at the end of July, and then August 1st, whatever age you are, that determines what team you're going to be on, as far as say a 8U or 10U team, or 12U, whatever your age is. And then then your fall starts after that. So during August, there'll just be, there'll be tryouts, things of that nature. People will be trying to get their rosters built back up. So during August, there's not too many tournaments at all because of this. And then, so that's a good time to go. That's a good camp to go to during that time. And then your tournaments don't start till typically around September 1st for your fall ball. So that'll run from September 1st till a little after Thanksgiving. So, but that's about it. I just wanted to touch base and try to help out as far as any information I could to help any parents or any young girls that were, looking to play softball. And like I said, I'll be interviewing my daughter and a lot of her friends that we've met across the country. We'll be interviewing them as far as their recruiting process and things of that nature. So if you would just like and subscribe to the channel, and that way it'll pop up when we have future interviews and things of that nature. And I appreciate it, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.